Hello, welcome to another episode of Africa This Month on Ominira TV. Africa This Month is a program where we discuss and analyze selected issues of happenings across the continent every month. Today in the studio with me, I have Stephen Oyedemi. Stephen is the operations director here at Ominira Initiative. Stephen, thanks for joining me on this episode.
It's a pleasure to be here today.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you. So let's hit the ground running. So in this month of March 2022, a number of things happen as usual. But to start with, in Nigeria, Nigerian commercial banks reduced limits on international transactions on Nigeria debit cards to $20 for the most, $50 for maybe one or two of them, and there's a bank that actually cancelled all international transactions. So this is happening before now. To say Nigerians were able to spend up to $100 on Naira debit cards, even though there was a time it was even more than that. Of course, it shows how commercial banks in Nigeria are struggling with for the scarcity of foreign exchange.
Yeah.
How do you think that, how do you see this playing out for young Nigerians and especially business owners in the country?
Yeah, so this development is actually an unfortunate one because in times past, people were free to use their Naira debit cards to, make payments online, foreign exchange payments online, and there were no restrictions. Talking about years ago, but it was August of 2020 that we saw this limit placed on the Naira debit card of a limit of 100, a limit of. Some banks reduced the limit on their cards to like $300 per month. Some reduced to, I think, $100 per month. So people were still contending with the fact that this was restrictive and it needs to go. And just when you think it's bad, then it gets even worse. So now it has been brought down to $20, which can hardly buy anything online. A lot of businesses, people, individuals, they need to buy stuffs online. That now they cannot do that because this policy makes it very difficult for them to do that. And Nigerians are already disconnected from international trade, and this further disconnects Nigerians from international trade because people have needs such as people want to buy things like software, they want to buy ebooks, people want to take online trainings, online courses that are not provided by Nigerian vendors online, and they now find it very difficult to pay. So it's very restrictive, and it's not the right thing to do for the banks. We understand that because of the inability to get enough forex inflows, they're trying to ration what they have by putting in place these austerity measures. Because the CBN actually says that they'll be stopping the sale of foreign exchange to banks very soon. So they're already looking for ways to raise more foreign exchange. But this is not the best way to go. Nigerians should not be disconnected from international trade because forex needs to be rationed. It's not the best way to go. So I think it's a very restrictive policy and behavior from our financial institutions.
I like the statement that you made, particularly the one that you said that Nigeria should not be disconnected from international trade, because this definitely restricts Nigeria from exchanging
opportunities.
Yes, you can't buy software, you can't buy books, you can't do personal development, you can't do all of this with $20 limitation on your card a month. It's so bad. So I think that it would be better that the country look at better ways to deal with this situation, to end foreign exchange.
Exactly. I think rather than try to restrict people from international trade, we should or international purchases, we should look for ways to increase our exports. We have a foreign exchange problem whereby we don't have enough forex inflows into the country. There's more need for imports, and which takes away forex. So basically we should just look at ways to increase our exports rather than look for all the means to reduce our import. People need certain things, and one of the major forex earner for Nigeria is oil, and Tony even raised the issue of huge oil theft in the oil and gas sector. So if we could solve this problem of oil theft, automatically there will be increase in foreign exchange earnings for Nigeria, as well as other non-oil sector that can raise a lot of money for the country. So I think that's where the solution lies, not in restricting people from using their Naira debit cards.
I agree with you that we should turn up our exports, other than just importing so much and not also giving that out. And also our reliance on oil, I think, is also
it's problematic.
It's problematic. Obviously, we see it now. Unfortunately, recently we can't even meet up with OPEC output quotas, and this is due to, as you said, oil bunkering and all of that. So we have this is a big issue, but still, the best way to deal with scarcity of foreign exchange is for us to be more productive as a nation. We need to put more out beyond oil, beyond agriculture. We need to manufacture and do more. That way, I think that's like the lasting way to, instead of restricting us with $20 limit. Anyway, let's so bad. Let's move from that to this second story. This one is from Ghana. So this month as well, Ghana's President Nana Akufo-Addo lifted pandemic restrictions, some of the pandemic restrictions that they have had in the country since 2020. And so one of them is you're not obliged to wear mask now, nose mask now. They can have full capacity indoor events, but the special one that catches attention is the reopening of the country's land and sea borders, and this is happening after 2 years of being closed. So now in Ghana, you don't have to wear masks. You can organize events indoor. So far, according to the document, so far that participants are vaccinated. And there is also the report that says that just only 16% of the population is vaccinated. So we're looking at, there's this, you're lifting the restrictions, good. Why has it taken this long? But particularly, what are your thoughts about these restrictions that have gone on for 2 years and doing it now? What do you think about it overall?
Yeah, so the restrictions have been on for too long. I believe that when there are crises like the COVID-19 crisis, responses to such crises are supposed to be proportional. The COVID-19 situation in Africa has not been as problematic as it was in some other parts of the world. So the kind of response we've seen from African leaders are not proportional. It's not proportional in any way. So, but it's good that now we are beginning to see relaxation of the restrictions now, because I think they are also beginning to realize that this is the right thing to do. I mean, having the borders closed for that long must have put some people out of job, out of work, because of their inability to trade across the border, especially people in border communities. They must have been restricted in many ways. So this will begin to bring back opportunities to them, trading opportunities and earning opportunities. But all the clauses around the relaxation of the COVID-19 restrictions are even too much. I mean, as you said, just about 16% of the population of Ghana are fully vaccinated, and you have clauses that are saying that you can only do certain things if the participants or events if the participants are fully vaccinated. Well, I think that it's a step in the right direction, at least to start with, and moving forward we would see more of relaxation of the COVID-19 restrictions, because the impact of COVID-19 has really dropped. So there's no need to keep holding on to those restrictions that are even in the US and the UK. Now we can see people can now move around without masks as long as they are vaccinated. People can also, even in Nigeria now, you are not required to have a PCR test as long as you're fully vaccinated when you're coming in. So all these restrictions need to begin to drop. We need to begin to drop them because they are no longer necessary, and as research have shown.
Yeah, thank you for that submission, and I quite agree. I agree with what you have said, because these restrictions are no longer needed, and it seems as if Ghana is realizing that it has hurt itself more than the benefits or that it thought to gain from this, particularly the land and sea border closure. On to the third story, which is one from Nigeria. This month, on the 22nd, the president was in Lagos to launch Africa's biggest fertilizer plant, owned by Aliko Dangote. This is believed to help Nigeria solve the fertilizer problem that we've always had, and also to contribute to agricultural growth, not only in Nigeria, in Africa as a whole. So what would this mean for Nigeria? Would this have any impact on Nigeria's economy or the agricultural sector?
It's a $2.5 billion plant, that's expected to produce around 3 million metric tons of granulated urea fertilizer every year, and currently Nigeria consumes around 1.5 million tons. Although there are projections that Nigeria will be needing up to like 6 to 7 million tons per year in some years to come. So this is like a timely project for Nigeria, and then for the African market. That's for Dangote fertilizer plant. They are very futuristic, and ambitious in this kind of project. It's going to create jobs. It's already creating jobs, for a lot of people. It will also, reduce our dependence on foreign fertilizer, and lead us to become a net exporter of fertilizers. So, and this is also going to, add to our foreign exchange, earnings, non-oil foreign exchange earnings. So it's a plus to Nigeria's economy as a whole. Agriculture currently contributes about 30% to our GDP. So having cheaper fertilizers will help to increase, agricultural as we know it currently. So it's going to help to improve our agricultural outputs, and help it to contribute better to the GDP and create more jobs and profitability for farmers. So I think it's a huge plus for the economy, and having private enterprises like that of this scale, it's a good way to go. And government needs to incentivize more of projects like this, to create the environment that is necessary to attract investors into things like this, to have more conglomerates, more projects like this. So it's a plus, and hopefully we can do more of things like this in the future.
Great one. Yeah. So on to the last story, which is this funny but not funny one from Rwanda. So Rwanda is proposing to impose a value-added tax on online services like consumed in the country, like Netflix, YouTube. It's called digital tax. This is coming a few months after countries like Zimbabwe and here in Nigeria also laid out plans for collection of taxes on these platforms. We have already been seeing that happening in Nigeria, and now Zimbabwe, Rwanda, is also considering doing the same. In fact, according to the Deputy Commissioner of the Rwanda Revenue Authority, said when you pay for services such as Netflix, you are using money that you have generated in Rwanda. So we are asking, why don't we collect VAT on these services? Yet they are being paid for by our citizens. So the argument is, you're paying for this from money you made in this country, so why not let us make something of that? So the concern with this, okay, I like, what are your thoughts? Because this looks as if African countries are beginning to adopt this form of indirect tax, VAT on Facebook spend, ad spend, digital ad spend on Netflix, on e-commerce stores. Are we going to see, is this going to be a norm? Because as more African countries begin to see others take it, would this be a norm? How would this affect businesses? What are your thoughts about it generally?
Now, government always looks for a way to take money. take,
Always.
They're not always looking for ways to be responsive, to be accountable, to provide basic amenities, security and all that. They are not always looking for ways to do more of that. They're always looking for ways to take more and more, take more and more. They devise ways to take money. Look at what the official was saying there, that since you make the money here, then they should take part of it. But they already collect income tax. People already pay taxes on their income.
True.
Now they want to consume, they still have to pay tax on the consumption. Rwanda taxes for VAT in Rwanda, it's 18%, which means whatever they are paying for such services, the government is taking about 18% of it. So, and the justification for this from their own perspective is that this is also the case in some other countries like like Europe.
Yeah.
But we also have to put into consideration that most of the countries that they mention are high-income countries. People earn more in those countries, and they get a whole lot of services from their governments, especially security. So there is a justification for such charges. But here in Africa, most African countries are low-income earning countries. So from the low income, people want to consume certain digital services, and you're still asking that they pay taxes on those things. So it's kind of an argument that's not easy to approach, because the world is going digital, and governments want to look at ways that they can hence some proceeds from that digital space. Nigeria is already making money from Facebook and YouTube and the rest through advertisement spend. They already put in a VAT on these things. So it will be difficult to say some other countries shouldn't go that way. But I think what is even more important is the accountability. Are people getting value for all the tax they're paying to government? That should also be a bone of contention. In as much as I don't believe that the government should be collecting more and more tax, I very much believe that government should be accountable for every amount of money they collect from the citizens.
So I agree with that, especially with the fact that government is always looking for more money. They're always looking for more money to use to execute their budget, the plans for every year. So but the bad part, or what I do not like about taxes, is that the government really pull back or lower taxes. It's always expanded.
So looking for ways to increase the tax
exactly
rates.
it will keep expanding. So when the government comes today, brings in tax here, before in the next 2, 3, 4 years, that tax may increase, or they would adopt such thing to another area. So but as you said, it's not, the problem really is not paying taxes. The problem is what you get in exchange. If you're paying a certain amount, you should get value for what you pay for. So hopefully the Rwandan government would give value for this. If Rwandese believe that they get value for paying tax,
and also the good thing with this is that it is still a proposal to the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning. So hopefully it might not even scale through.
It might not.
So people might it might not get approved.
Yes.
People might say, the country might say, okay, we are not going this way. But even if they choose to go that way, accountability is actually key. Is key.
Yeah. Thanks for that. On that note of accountability is key with governance, would bring this episode of Africa This Month to an end. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, share with your friends, and join us again.